Kyle Shanahan has had enough, and it is good news for the 49ers. I'm going to tell you why in this video. Hit subscribe if you're looking for 49ers content. Appreciate all of you guys for hitting that sub button, for liking these videos, for commenting below. Speaking of commenting below, my question today: did Cleveland confirm or convince you of anything with Brock Purdy? A lot of hate spewed Purdy's way, as you'd expect after a 3-pick game just two games ago. But did Cleveland prove something to you? Did Cleveland prove anything to you? I am still seeing huge narratives across big, wide sweeping narratives out there around Kyle Shanahan, around Brock Purdy, and it's clear Shanahan has had enough and he's doing something about it. I'm gonna explain what I mean by that. But to open the show up, to make sense of this whole narrative, I just have to ask you that simple question. When you look at Brock Purdy, did Cleveland prove anything to you? Did it convince you of anything? Or did it confirm anything that you already believed to be true? Because for me, it sure did. You'll understand what I mean in a moment. Let's start with the Purdy hate continuing to live on. Now, this video is not all about Purdy hate. There's some Purdy hate in here, okay? It's not all about Purdy hate. But it's these kinds of narratives. And like, dude, it's so many guys. Shady McCoy the other day. It's guys like this. John Frisella, this guy, I respect a lot of takes that he has. So when I see stuff like this, I'm a little disappointed. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are known for making very difficult decisions. True. They invested a lot in Trey Lance, but they benched him and moved on when Brock Purdy simply outpaid him. True. Now, well, the 49ers look like a contender this season. True. It's a down year around the league and the door is wide open. Also true. That said, I think they have to consider benching Brock Purdy for Mac Jones. Hold up. Let's let him continue. Purdy's arm looks shot this year. Weak, no zip, lot of floating ducks. Not totally true. Mac Jones looks stronger, sharper, and more effective. Also not true. Do you think Kyle Shanahan can make another tough call here? We're going to talk about this. Like, I want to get to the wider narrative here. But for me, I think the timing of this is really interesting. Let me first just give a little backing to some of my disagreements here. Purdy's arm looks shot this year. Wrong. Not true. Nothing about the interceptions Brock Purdy threw 2 games ago were about arm talent. None of it had to do with his ability to get the ball somewhere he used to be able to get it to, but now he just can't because his arm can't do it. So that's just not true. No zip, lots of floating ducks, not true. Has he thrown a duck here and there? Sure. A lot of quarterbacks do that. I'm not going to act like he's perfect. But no, he's not throwing the ball weaker. We just talked about the other day, the QB whisperer goes on ESPN and he says, this is a fixable problem. This is timing. This is him waiting too long. This is late. This is hero ball. It's not Brock Purdy can't get the ball there like he used to anymore. Has nothing to do with it. This is a lazy take. And I'm going to, like, Kyle Shanahan's had enough of this stuff, man. He's had enough of it, and he's proving it on the field. Let's talk about the timing, though, of this statement. We just talked the other day about Jeff Deeney from PFF talking about the pressure to sack ratio, a minimum of 70 dropbacks under pressure. Brock Purdy is a light year ahead of the next quarterback, Dak Prescott, Bo Nix, Sam Darnold. Brock Purdy with the best by a mile pressure to sack ratio. Okay, now this is a percentage-based stat, so I understand it's a limited number of games, but you also have to remember he was injured, fully injured in 2 of those games. He was not right against the Jags, and the majority of the Seahawks game, he was injured because it happened early on in the game. So, like, just throwing that out there, okay? Hold on and stick with me for the full narrative. If you're, like, not totally connecting all the dots with me, that's okay. I get it. I can be confusing sometimes. But why of all times is this the time that you're taking a shot at Brock Purdy or Kyle Shanahan? Shady McCoy the other day taking shots at Kyle Shanahan not being a good coach. What kind of nonsense is that? Brock Purdy not being a good quarterback. What kind of nonsense is that? Because when you look at what Brock Purdy gives this team that Mac Jones and his beautiful arm does not give this team, the best case in point for any of that is what happened just a couple of days ago in Cleveland. When Brock Purdy showed with his legs that he can do things that very, very few quarterbacks in the NFL can do right now. It's not as simple as he didn't get sacked. It's not as simple as he can scramble. It's the timing. The thing that makes Brock Purdy's scramble elite is he didn't leave the pocket too early. He didn't give up on the play too early like rookies do. And he didn't leave the pocket too late, which many veteran quarterbacks do. It is incredibly difficult to time the pressure and get out of the pocket, escape the pocket, and do it at the right time. And it's not just me saying that. Here is what Brian Baldinger said on the Fan 95.7 The Game, just yesterday. This is what Brian Baldinger said about Brock Purdy's performance against the Cleveland Browns.
Do you agree?
Well, it's a very good defense. You go in there and you play error-free football the way he did. That's the first thing you're looking at. Lousy weather, bad field, great defense. That's all they got is defense. And then you go and you play error-free football like that. And it's not about stats. It's about, coming out of Cleveland with a win. That's a tough place to play. So it's a tough conditions. You're in the Northeast. The weather's bad. That's what it looks like sometimes when you play a great defense in bad weather. It kind of looks like that. But when you don't turn it over and you take care of it, you make the throws on third downs, you make the throws that he made, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Brian Baldinger, you're right. You're absolutely right. Error-free football, he called it. And that's what you're looking for. He said it. That is the first thing you're looking for. So you're checking the film, you're looking at the stats, you're looking at the box score, whatever easy math you're trying to make of the game. The bottom line is what the people that care about the actual game, the people that see the bigger picture care about, is they look and they see on paper is Cleveland. It's a very good defense, and it's about the only thing they've got. So they're putting everything into their defense right now. Everything rides on the defense. Everything is defensive. Even when Shador gets into the red zone, kind of sort of got into the red zone, what do? They pull him out. He's not their guy. So it's all about the defense, not about the offense. And it's Cleveland in November. And it's windy as heck. What do you care about? How did the quarterback handle that defense in that city, in that weather, at that time of the year? Those temperatures, that wind chill. How does your quarterback handle it? And can he be error-free? I love it. I'm not trying to get all riled up. I get riled up sometimes. But you got stuff like this just floating around all over the place. The respect that Kyle Shanahan does not get from the league, from the odds makers, is unbelievable. What Shanahan has done with this team, and Robert Saleh too. I'm not trying to say he didn't get any credit for that. And Brant Boyer too. I'm not trying to say he doesn't get any credit for that. But your head coach gets the head coach credit. Kyle Shanahan still can't live down what happened in Atlanta. And he wasn't even the head coach. But he gets blamed for that game. And Kyle Shanahan, he's the head coach, so by golly, I'm going to give him the credit when he deserves it. Here's the latest Coach of the Year odds from BetMGM. Shanahan and McVay at plus 3,000. Now, look, I guess I am trying to take something away from what Sean McVay has done. I guess I am. But he's doing it with Matthew Stafford. He's doing it with a team outside of a couple games of Puka Nacua, who's been very, very healthy this year. They just had a couple guys go to IR like 2 weeks ago on defense. They had one corner that was out for the majority of the season, but their star corner gets covered by is it Kobe Durant and a couple guys come in, like they're depth guys that are playing top caliber cornerback right now, and they just had their starter come back. Anyway, the point is the 49ers have been up against it in terms of injury, unlike any other team this season, and they have been. What Kyle Shanahan has done, not just this year, what he did with Jimmy Garoppolo, we talked about that yesterday, what he did with Brock Purdy, what he's done with Brock Purdy in 2023, you got to give this guy some massive credit. What he's doing right now to have the team where they're at, one, half game out or whatever from being in the top of the NFC West, you got to give Kyle Shanahan some stinking credit. Now, I understand the Mike Vrabel argument. I understand the Ben Johnson argument. I am not going to say that Kyle Shanahan deserves to be ahead of those guys. That's fine. Whatever. I mean, I think we can make the argument, but I at least understand the Vrabel Johnson arguments because they've completely turned these teams around. Completely turned them around. And Ben Johnson gets credit for completely beefing up that offensive line and getting that offense doing things that even with Caleb Williams' bad completion percentage, being able to be incredibly successful. So, look, whatever, fine. Put him at number 3. But my word, to have him way down there with Sean McVay, come on now. Come on. You got to give this guy a little more love. And Shanahan, this is fuel for the fire if there's ever been fuel. Look at what Shanahan's doing. He's turning all that energy, from the very beginning of the season. Not just the Aiyuk stuff, man. It is like reporters going in there asking him gotcha questions. Brock Purdy gets injured. It's, is Mac Jones going to be the starter now? Every single week it's these, questions about Brock Purdy and Mac Jones and trying to create another QB controversy that isn't there. And Shanahan having to repeat himself day after day after day that Brock Purdy's the guy, that Mac Jones is doing a great job. And you got to feel for Mac Jones in this situation because it makes him look even worse that you've got your head coach out there having to defend Brock Purdy week after week after week, the guy that you just gave the bag. Brock Purdy is the guy. Shanahan committed to him. This organization committed to him. He is the guy. And everyone's looking for their clickbaity gotcha question to try and get Shanahan to say something that reveals something that he hasn't said yet. And I get it. It's the job. I'm not trying to hate on journalists. I'm not a journalist. I don't know what it's like to be in their shoes every day. I just get to hang out with you guys and talk about the latest updates and the stuff that gets me hyped as a fan. So it's a different thing. I'm, again, not trying to throw shade. I don't know what it's like to be in their shoes, to go into that press conference, to ask those questions, to be under that kind of pressure, to deal with Kyle Shanahan every single day. I don't know what that's like. But my word, for Shanahan to have to deal with this week after week after week, to be constantly considered a team that doesn't belong in the playoff picture, to still, even to this day, right now, people look at the 49ers and they're like, yeah, they'll make the playoffs. But in this wide open NFC, they can't do anything else. And Shanahan's just proving it on the field week after week. Even with just the way that he handled, we get to pick if we want to defer or not, and he chooses to receive the ball at the opening quarter because he wants the wind at our backs in the fourth quarter. Just even those little things, down to how every single thing is managed on this team and the guys he's able to bring in. Robert Saleh doesn't come to the 49ers if it's not for with Shanahan. Brant Boyer comes in, he brings him in, and it completely turns around the special teams in a way we have not seen. You have got to give this guy some incredible credit, and he's using that fuel right now, Kyle Shanahan. He is using that fuel to absolutely just destroy every single narrative. So Shanahan, not that you need my permission, but kick your feet up, put your fluffy socks on or whatever, your slippers, and watch football with a little bit of relaxation this weekend. You earned every single bit of it. And keep using this fuel to continue making this football team as good as it has been. I'm amazed by how this team has produced the narratives that they've had to fight against, what the Niners have had to do and be up against without all of these leading players on their team, with injury after injury after injury. Dude, you guys, I'm genuine, okay? I have never, ever had a season where I have waited every single day. There's a press conference. I look at their media schedule. Every time there's a press conference, all I'm waiting for is what are the injury updates, and are they going to have me gasping for air, or are they going to have me, at the edge of my seats, finally that guy's coming back. That has been 10 of the 13 weeks so far. 10 of them. Every single press conference I've been waiting to hear about injury updates. That's exhausting, man. That is exhausting. And for Shanahan to take all that, to turn it into fuel, you got to love it, don't you? You have to love it. I hope you do too. My goodness, what the 49ers have done this season. Kyle Shanahan, he's coach of the year in my book. That's all I like. That's it, right? Whatever. I'm sure he at the end of the day, like, I don't know how much he cares about that right now. He probably doesn't care about it a lot right now. He's watching his dad get snuffed year after year with his opportunity to be in the Hall. So whatever, man. Go do your thing, Kyle Shanahan. Go do your thing. Go prove them wrong. The Niners are better when people count them out. Straight up. They are better when they count them out. When they count them out, all of a sudden the 49ers do what they've done this season. When every single argument in the world was out there to say it's okay if the Niners suck this year, they have refused to believe that possibility, and they have shown it week after week after week. Let's go.